Hello everyone and welcome to the 32nd episode of the chess this week. Now, a lot of action-filled chess the previous week. It was as if everyone was just waiting for the World Championship match to get over. And we start with almost the second most prestigious tournament in the chess world, the Champion Chess Tour. The Chess Cup, the play-in happened on May 1 and this is the Division 1. Hikaru and Fabiano Caruana, they keep their place in the Division 1 and they are joined by Nodipek Abdusatoro, who won the Division 2 the last time. And Magnus Carlsen is taking rest this time. He's not playing in Champion Chess Tour, so I'm guessing Hikaru is going to take this one. Do leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And the rest of the field is joined by Ali Reza. Of course, you can never count him out. There's Anish, Levon Aronian, Kirill Shevchenko, and Dmitry Kolarch joining the big guys. And Division 2 is not as star-studded as the previous event, which had the likes of Nodipek, Arjun, Anish, and on the whole, it felt like Division 1 itself. But it's nevertheless an incredibly strong field. We have Shakir Mamedyarov, Vladimir Ferozeev, and Dmitry Andreiking. And from India, it's Raunak Sadhwani and Bharat Subramaniam joining the Division 2. And the Division 3 is also filled with many strong players, including David Navara, against whom I'll be playing on May 22 in the Division 3. Division 3 also has a lot of other Indian players, including Shashi Kiran, Vaibhav Suri, Inian, Harshit Raja, and Harshavardhan GB. So this is also going to be a pretty interesting field. And moving on to some over-the-board classical events, we have a host of events happening as well, starting with the Grand Chess Tour in Romania. The Superbet Grand Chess Tour tournament, it took place right after the World Championship match and features both the players, Ding Liren as well as Jan Nepomniachtchi. 2 rounds are over at the time of recording this, and 3 players are jointly in the lead. Jan Nepomniachtchi after a win against Deep Daniel. Richard Rapport, representing Romania this time, he has managed to show no rust after being Ding Liren second for the World Championship match, and Wesley So, who defeated Alireza Firouzja in the first round. Alireza is making a return to the classical fold after a pretty long time, as far as I can remember, and ended up losing the first round against Wesley, and Richard Rapport won a really nice game against Jan Christoph Luda. The happening has been slow for Ding after the World Championship match. It seems like he held the best for after the World Championship match, as he played the Catalan in the GCT and not in the World Championship match. But after gaining an advantage, he didn't make the best out of it, and so far has been quiet with 2 draws. So this is the Romania Grand Chess 2. And aside from that, we also have the ATP Sigeman Co happening in Malmö, Sweden. And this field is spearheaded by our Indian stars, Gukesh, the first seed, and Arjun Erigaisi, the second seed. So far, 4 rounds are over, and none of these 2 promising juniors are in the lead right now. It's actually Abhimanyu Mishra and Peter Swidler who are in the lead after 4 rounds with 3 points out of 4. Abhimanyu being a bit of a surprise there in the leaders bracket after starting the tournament, being almost 100 points lower rated than the next best seed. And Abhimanyu has been fabulous so far with wins against Jordan and wins in Cuba. Gukesh started off with 2 flourishing wins, but slowed down a bit in the 3rd round with a draw against Nils Randelius, the local star, and lost the 4th round against Arjun Erigaisi, who has had a topsy-turvy tournament itself. Arjun started with a win, a very convincing win with the black pieces against Boris Gelfand against the Catalan opening. Bit of mixed feelings there, but he went on to lose the next 2 games, including a white loss against Grandelius and a black loss against Peter Swidler, whom you can never count out, and came back roaring with a win against Gukesh. So this has been the story so far in ATP Sigeman Co. You can see how strong the field is when a former World Championship challenger, a legend like Boris Gelfand, is at the bottom of the table with only half out of 4. And moving on from Europe all the way to Armenia, actually it's not that far away, but nevertheless, now 5 rounds are over in the Stephen Avagyan Memorial, which used to be called as the Lake 7 tournament back in those days. And at the end of 5 rounds, it's Samuel Sevian who's convincingly in the lead with 4 out of 5. He's been playing some pretty impressive chess. And at the other end of the cross table, there's Arthur Tavetian, who's been having a tough tournament with just half out of 5. And in between, 8 players are packed with between 2 points to 3 points, including our own S.L. Narayanan, who has 2.5 out of 5, suffering his first loss in the tournament against Frederick Swane. Now, this is also an incredibly interesting event with most of the players quite close to each other in terms of both rating as well as strength. And now we are moving really far away from Armenia to Cuba, where another close tournament is held, named after the former world champion and the Cuban legend, Jose Raul Capablanca, the Capablanca Memorial. And at the end of 4 rounds, this has been led by the Brazilian Grandmaster, Alexander Fier. We also have our own Raunak Sadhwani playing here. He has a score of 2.5 out of 4. So far solid, 1 win and 3 draws. And this is the tournament which was won by Hans Niemann last year. And Surya Ganguly also played in this tournament. Talking about Hans Niemann, he has been in quite a bit of action lately. And the most recent tournament where he's playing right now is the Baku Open in Azerbaijan. And at the end of 4 rounds, 6 players are in the lead, including the top seeded Hans Niemann, the second seeded Alexander Predke, and our own Leon Mendoza, who seems to be a regular in chess this week. He seems to be playing chess almost every single week. Tireless Leon there. And we have a bunch of other grandmasters playing. There's Aditya Mittal, there's Sandeepan Chanda, Ritvik Raja, and many more. There's also Setu, who has been playing quite a few tournaments in recent times, and Divya Deshmukh also making a return after a long time, and she has 2 points out of 4 at the end of 4 rounds. That's most of the active high-profile tournaments which is happening this week, but we also have the Pro Chess League matchup, the quarterfinals coming in next week. And this will happen between May 11 and May 12. So be sure to tune in. The matches will happen at 7:30 Indian time. And on May 11, we have the Indian Yogis playing against the French Linz team. This features Vidit for the Indian Yogis and Vaishali in the women's board. And the French team will have Alexander Grishchuk and Katrina Lagno, apart from 2 other grandmasters for both the teams. We also have the matchup between MGD1 against Levido Chess Wizards. This will take place on May 12. And this is also going to be a super interesting and exciting match. MGD1 led by Arjun Erigasi, and we have the Beast on board too. Deepthan Ghosh and Harika forming our lineup against a pretty strong Levito Chess Wizards lineup, starting with Alexei Sarana, David Paravian, Lazavik Dennis, and Alexandra Kostumian. So this is also going to be a super interesting matchup. Although I have motivated the team by telling them that I managed to defeat 2 of our opposing team's players, Sarana and Paravian, in the Champion Chess Tour qualifiers. So I hope they do at least as well as me, if not better than me, in the PCL quarterfinals coming up. But be sure to tune in there. That's this edition of the Chess This Week. If you like this episode, then do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and see you all soon.